In that 160,000 Tory party members are going to decide the future of our Prime Minister. They will have a vote. We don't have a vote. They will have a vote. And when they have a vote, some of them apparently have two, they will then decide the future of this country. I'm sick of it. I want a general election to deal with the real issues.
If you want a general election, then can you commit that Labour will call a no-confidence vote in whoever becomes Prime Minister before MPs break up for the summer recess?
We'll call a no-confidence vote when we believe that those Conservative members of Parliament who have said that they would support a no-confidence motion in the government in order to stop a no deal are likely to support it.
Are you having those conversations with them then?
Of course. Because the key thing here is, and look at what a no deal would entail.
So that means I just want to pick, that means it's likely to be, but from what you're saying, it sounds like it's more likely to be in the autumn.
Well, I don't know, because I can't read the minds of those Conservative MPs who've said that they're prepared to do this. But what we do know is that every business organisation in this country is telling us that a no-deal Brexit would be a disaster for jobs and our economy. And yet we have these two leadership contenders in the Conservative Party who say, no, we really mean it, we're very happy to take us out onto a no deal. This is a disaster for our country, and we seem to be sleepwalking into it. And all these other things are periphery. We have to focus on what is happening to our country.
Okay, well, let's do that. Let's focus on the things that are happening to this country and Brexit. If there is an election, as you want, we'll of course need to know crystal clear what Labour's policy is. So does Labour want to stay in the EU, or do you want to leave the EU?
Look, our policy has moved, right? We started off...
Can you just answer it?
Yeah, of course. No, of course I will.
Because I ask this question so much, and it does feel sometimes that you just get these lengthy replies that just don't really answer what is a really straight question.
Okay, you straight the question to me, and I'll straight the answer.
Okay, great. Does Labour want to stay in the EU or leave the EU?
Labour has always been an internationalist party. We wanted to stay in the EU and reform it. What then happened was we had a referendum where the people said they wanted to leave. And we have tried to respect that. We've tried to hold in tension our view that actually economically, in terms of jobs, in terms of the economy, we would be better off staying in the EU with the democratic accountability to the people. And that is why we tried to negotiate the deal with the government to make sure that we could honour the referendum result, but they would not move. They refused to change their red lines. They refused to look at a customs union in which we would have a say. They absolutely blocked that. And that is why we have had now to move to the end of the process that we outlined at our party conference, and to say, in that case, we will do anything to stop a no-deal Brexit. Because you look at the trade statistics that came out last week, the investment in this country, new projects down by 14%, new jobs from that investment down 24%, and investment that is protecting existing jobs down 54%. This is what is happening as a result of Brexit chaos in this country that the Tories have led us to.
If there is an election then, as a result of a no-confidence vote, which really could happen by the end of the year, will Labour campaign to stay in the EU or to leave the EU?
We did before the first referendum, and obviously we decide in a democratic way our party's policy.
So who decides then?
It's a Clause 5 meeting, which means that all the key elements of our party come together. They decide what our manifesto commitments are. That's what we did last time.
Does that include members?
Oh yes, of course.
So if it does include members, then surely it would.
No, of course.
Most members want to stay.
Non-members don't end up taking.
No, but this is important, isn't it? Because it does feel like different parts of the Labour movement want different things.
No, look, the Labour movement wants a Labour government. They want to get rid of this Conservative government that is causing such distress in our society, that is eroding our public services.
Do you want to stay in or leave?
And yes, we have always been a Remain and Reform party, okay? We tried to reconcile ourselves with what the democratic will of the people was at that referendum. And we tried to do that sincerely. But we always said we would not accept a no deal. We now have two Conservative putative prime ministers who are saying they are happy to take us out on a no deal. And people in the Conservative Party, Conservative MPs are saying that they would side with a Labour motion of no confidence in their own government because they see the disaster that is waiting for the British public if those two get the chance to get into Downing Street.
OK, Barry Gardiner, thank you very much for coming on the programme.